What is up, briskets? Today we are going to talk about the strength of the few. I am going to ramble here a little bit. I just want to kind of dig into why I feel like fans may be divided on this book, why people who love The Will of the Many so much may just not be feeling this book. I'm sure there's a ton of other factors why this is the case. Like, what I'm going to say here isn't the be all end all of it. Like, I'm not saying this is the only reason why people didn't connect with it like they did with the first one. It's just stuff that I noticed as I was reading. So before we get into that, please, if you like what I do, go check me out on Instagram. My name is Noah. So please, if you like what I do, go check me out on Instagram. My name is Noah's Brisk Reviews over there. That's where I post most of my content, but I do some longer form stuff here and put this on. So really, if you just want to see me ramble more and not be so concise on everything, kind of like extrapolate my thoughts, this is where you want to find that. So yeah, subscribe to me here too if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, leave a comment. Let me know if you enjoy it. I'll keep doing it if people do. So let's dig in to this book, The Strength of the Few. First off, my thoughts. I really, really loved this book. I liked it more than the first book, actually. Um, Now, that does not seem to be the common consensus with this book, and I get that. I understand why that's the case, and I just wrote down like after reading it, I just dug into it, right? Because I knew basically after the first like 3 chapters, I was like, there's gonna be people who do not like this book. Um, I feel like The Will of the Many pulls a lot of people, a lot of Red Rising fans in, right? A lot of like, I don't want to. I hate the word casual because I think anybody reading fantasy is not technically a casual, right? Like you're going out of your way to consume this content and take time out of your day to read this thing. So it's not really casual. I just can't think of a better word for it. But these casual fantasy readers who were drawn into The Will of the Many and they loved it so much, why it was just like the most hyped and praised book of 2023. Personally, I think it deserved it. Honestly, I mean, it's a fantastic book. It didn't like blow me away, but I absolutely loved it. And that's hard to do on a fantasy debut. And I did love The Will of the Many by James Islington. Um, but a lot of these fans who come in and connected with The Will of the Many, they connected with this, right? They connected with a very structured storyline. They connected with a very boiled down and condensed plot, right? We had an idea where it was going. Sure, there were some twists and turns there, but we had academia feel, that academia feel, that academia feel, sorry, with this and what he was able to go through, coming up with nothing, coming into something, right? Yeah, I thought he was a little overpowered, but the story as a whole, I felt was solid. And I can see why someone like a Red Rising fan would be really into that because it's very straightforward. Like that first trilogy in Red Rising, it locks you into Darrow early. Yeah, he's a little overpowered, but he's cool. This is a little overpowered, but he's cool. They locked into that, and Darrow pulled them through those first 3 books, right? That's why people have so much love for Darrow. Not me personally. I think Darrow's a jerk. But that's why people love Red Rising because they're locked into Darrow, man. And with The Will of the Many, it did have that feel, especially if you have not read the Lycanius trilogy and don't know James's writing. It does have that feel like, hey, this is a new Darrow in a new, more fantasy-ish setting, and he's going to pull us through this series. That ended up not being the case. and and me personally, I prefer that. That is what I want in my books. I like when our expectations are flipped. I love the Lycanius trilogy. I understood James's writing. I didn't think it was as simple as it was going to be, and we found out at the end of The Will of the Many that it wasn't. Right? Lycanius fans, when they read the end of The Will of the Many, they were like, "Oh crap! All right, we are James Islanding this book. It it is about to get wild because that's what happened in Lycanius, and we expect that from him." So yes, the end of The Will of the Many was surprising to me. It was exciting to see, and when it happened, that was great. But I also like that was something after I read it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense why he would do that. And I had a feeling The Strength of the Few was gonna be one of those divisive books just because it's so different from the first, because of how that ends at The Will of the Many, because of what happens to this and coming into The Strength of the Few, I knew it was gonna be weird. And it ended up being that way. and people are divided on it. They're divided on it. So I think one of the biggest factors is just the fact that this is not the will of the many, right? This is the hierarchy series we need to look at as a whole, not just focus on that first book. James is giving the story that he wants to give. And as someone who loves the Lycanius trilogy and epic fantasy as a whole, I'm excited to see where this goes. Right? So, the will of the many was easy to get into. It was straightforward. You understood your characters and the motivations, and there were some fun twists and turns in there, and a lot of cool action sequences with a shocking ending. Okay. I think people casual, again, that word casual, I don't like it, but people read the will of the many, and now they have moved to the strength of the few. They were expecting the same thing. They did not get that. What they got was something such a bigger scope, right? We have split into three narratives now. Now James has to have us buy into this three different times, right? Um, and that's how this story is going to keep going. With that, what James was able to do was really lock into the politics and the mysticism of this world. This is a second book. I believe this is going to be a four-book series. If it's not, correct me in the comments. But this isn't a trilogy, so we're not really on a middle book here, right? But what James has done is said, okay, so we see the main conflict. This world is split into three, right? We understand the cataclysms now. We have an idea of what's going on, and we need to figure out how those three realms work together to get this to work. It seems like just one of them has to complete the tasks or whatever, and to make this work, to fix everything. But what we're getting now is three different plots, basically, with three different characters who are actually the same character, and we're seeing this new surrounding cast around them. We're seeing these new motivations, these new characters talking into the life of this, and that just changes the story completely. It's not straightforward anymore. This second book does not really resolve anything for us, and in a book of four, that's okay. That's okay. We don't need resolution here. This book is setting up bigger things, right? The Will of the Many set up a a nice tone. It gave us a base layer to build off of. It gave us our standard vis that we deal with. The strength of the few takes that and just starts tearing it all up and expanding it and making it bigger. Okay. So what James was able to do was give us now the will of the many basically three times over in this book, and that's gonna hurt people when they're reading that. These casual fans are looking for that straightforward story. They're looking for that straightforward character to buy into with this, like they had in The Will of the Many. They are not getting that here. So that leads to pacing issues for a lot of people. Someone like me, probably a lot of you as well, you've read Dragonbone Share, you've read The Wheel of Time, you've read A Song of Ice and Fire. You understand the immensity of these series and the weight that they carry and how much work it takes to lay down groundwork to make things hit, to make plots hit, to give us proper character resolution. It takes a lot of words, a lot of groundwork. That includes a lot of world building, a lot of political stuff, a lot of religious stuff, extra characters on top of that. This takes a lot of work. And this second book, if this is a four-book series, the second book is the place to do that. Right? The first book pulled us in. It made us invested in the character. The second book, now we have discovered, okay, this is the main conflict. This is what we need to fix. This is how we're going to fix it. Maybe we have some ideas. We have three people working on it in three different settings with three different plots, all kind of working towards the same goal, but they don't know. So for me, that just amps up the mystery. That amps up the intrigue for me. It gives me more to buy into. And for me, as someone who loves those big, long, epic series, this is now becoming that. I was worried with The Will of the Many. I liked The Will of the Many, but I did not feel like it was going to be an epic series until the very end of that book. When that happened, I said, okay, this is now going to be an epic fantasy series, epic fantasy sci, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be an epic series, and the strength of the few proved that. It proved that to me, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. I loved it because of what it did, because of how it changed the trajectory of this series. And I think a lot of people are not going to like that. And that's fine. That's fine. If you loved The Will of the Many and you were disappointed with the strength of the few, there's so many books out there for you that are going to hit like the will of the many, right? You just got to go find them. Maybe we'll do a recommendation video or something, but there is stuff out there for you. Just because the strength of the few did not end up like you wanted it to, your head canon didn't work out, whatever you wanted for this, whatever you wanted for this plot, just know you don't have to keep reading it. It's okay to be done. It's okay. I will say, as someone who reads a lot of big epic fantasy, a second book is a little stepping stone, man. Like the third book could be unbelievable, right? And if you just don't read the second book because it's different from the first book, you may be missing out on something incredible, because that's what usually happens with these big series. Um, Right. Something like Wheel of Time, it just seems so long. Sure, there's maybe a slog. I don't feel like there's a slog, but um, the ending of that series is so incredible. That last book is such a send off. It would not have that emotional impact if we didn't have that slog. You need that in these big epic fantasy series. If you don't, great. I'm happy for you. That's what I want to read. I like the meandering. I like the slice of life. I like the intense, the complicated, the ambiguity, the just ridiculousness of long epic series. And now that I see the Hierarchy series is becoming that, and with the Strength of the Few, we started to get that, I'm super stoked. I'm excited. Um, but yeah, that's why I feel, end of the day, like those are just a couple of the reasons why I think people are so divided on this book. I think a lot of fans like me are super stoked where this went. They're excited to see what's going to happen. And a lot of fans not like me are bummed that this got away from the will of the many that they thought they knew and loved. End of the day, James Islandson is the artist here. He's our author. He's going to say what he wants to say. He's going to do what he wants to do. If you've read the Lycanius trilogy, I promise you can trust him. This will land. I have faith this will land. Whether you like this book or not, if you read it, God, don't skip the third one just because you didn't like this one. Just wait and see. Wait and see. Don't write this off yet. There may be something incredible here. Also, if it really didn't work for you and you weren't happy with it, you don't have to keep reading, right? You can love the will of the many. There's many books out there where I just love book one, or I just love the first two books. There's a lot of series like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, Blood Song by Anthony Ryan, anyone? The Warded Man by Peter V. Brett, anyone? Like those are incredible book ones, and they're okay book twos, but like those series didn't work for me in the end, but I still love book one. Book one, Blood Song by Anthony Ryan is still one of my favorite books I've ever read. And The Will of the Many can still be one of your favorite books you ever read, even if you didn't like The Strength of the Few. So don't let something like that hold you back. Don't let that ruin your reading day. Go find something else. Be happy about reading it, and read what makes you happy, right? Don't waste your time on something that's going to piss you off. That's all I'll say. Yeah, leave some comments if you have thoughts on that. What are some other reasons why you wouldn't like it? Did you like it? Did you have any issues with it? Let me know. Let me know. I love to talk about it. Come find me on Instagram. Talk to me faster there. But yeah, leave a comment here. That'd be great. Please subscribe, like, do whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube. I don't know. I just post here. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.